Did you want me to lead this one since you did a TED Talk last time?
Yeah. I was trying to not just talk the entire time this time. Hello and welcome to the podcast. I'm Risa.
And I'm Ariana.
And we're the Krolmeister sisters. As a reminder, this podcast is rated T for teen for strong language and mature themes.
If you don't like that, well, that's just fine. Get on out of here and go to another podcast. I'm sure they exist. I promise you. I can't plug any right now because, yeah.
So, sister, what are we talking about today?
Well, sister, in case you couldn't tell by my little hint, we're talking about voice acting.
Again, Melted Joan Cusack.
Oh, Ariana yelling into a microphone is her voice acting. Cool.
Yeah. So, Melted Joan Cusack, again, suggested we talk about voice acting again, because we did talk about games with the best and with the worst voice acting, but they were looking for something a little more in depth, which we sure do love to go in depth on things that don't matter at all. Yep. I was literally, side note, I did like not an interview thing, but like a call with a guy who's doing research for marketing for content creators and stuff, and he was like, well, what do you guys, is it from the data? You guys decide what type of episodes to do on your podcast? And I was like, we just do what we enjoy. So we really enjoy going on deep dives. So that's what we're doing. We're going to talk about voice acting. And by the way, other people can suggest things. We just take the things that are suggested closest to our planning because we remember them. Because despite the fact that I do pin these things, I forget. So they're there. We do go through them. We go through the pins that I have on screenshots in our Discord DMs. Yes. So just know. But this time we were doing that because, again, it was suggested to us yesterday, so it was on my mind. We're just going to talk about voice acting, what makes good voice acting, and what makes not so good voice acting.
Yeah, and how the voice acting for Nancy Drew, the game series, not just the character, how that measures up. Okay, so we thought we'd start with the good. So what makes for good voice acting?
And acting.
Yeah, as we said, it's in the name. It's acting. It should be first and foremost good acting, as Risa said again. It's voice acting is a very freeing thing because actors are frequently told that they have to make their face look a certain way. It's, oh no, you can't do, that's ugly crying. We don't want that. Yeah. We want this to be, so they can act as big or as little as they want. And so those who actually are able to put the work in and they can get that reading and it sounds great coming out of an animated character's mouth.
Yeah.
That's voice acting. That's good voice acting.
That is good voice acting. It's stuff where it's not just a celebrity doing a voice.
It's not just, exactly.
I'm a celebrity.
Look at me, I'm a celebrity. And, another thing people tend to think about when they think voice acting is character voices. And,
yeah.
Which, a lot of the aforementioned celebrities frequently don't do that. And so you can get those celebrities who just do their own voice, and it's just their voice coming out of a character, and it's
Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt. Sorry, I almost threw up a bit.
Yeah.
No, but then there are the actors who actually like will put themselves into a voice that they'll do. Like I it's funny because in Encanto, Steffi Beatrix does her real voice, but everybody was thrown by that because they're used to her being Rosa on Brooklyn Nine-Nine. She does like a real voice like this. And so that's, honestly, she does great voice acting. She's really good at doing voices. Heck, even Bradley Cooper does a lot of great voice acting. People frequently don't know it's him.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying people didn't know Rocket Raccoon was him. That's a bare minimum. But at the same time, he then brings the acting to it as well. Like, I legitimately get sad at some of the ways that Rocket Raccoon says things, and it's not really fair that you should make me feel that way about a pathological kleptomaniac who... Yeah, anyway.
Mark Hamill. Good example of celebrity turned voice actor.
Yeah.
Because he was an actor, and now...
Was he? Sorry.
Wow. Are you saying that Star Wars has bad acting, Ariana?
Star Wars has never had bad acting in the entirety of all 3 trilogies.
I think there's only 2 trilogies, Ariana. I think everyone chooses 2. No one will choose all 3.
Yeah, I'll be real.
You guys can guess which trilogy do I not recognize?
Vote now. Which trilogy does Risa think isn't canon? I would hope that it's the new trilogy?
Yes, I do not recognize the sequel trilogy as canon.
At least parts of the prequels, like you have to wade through a lot of shit, but at the same time, at least there's attempts and there's but there's actual plot. Does the plot make sense? Hold on.
Are they good movies?
Sister,
no.
Sister, we're doing that thing where we talk about something that's not our podcast. So, we were on Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill, good voice actor. He does good acting and good voices.
He was a good voice actor.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Let's try that, because he's kind of fallen into every single voice's Joker now.
Oh, okay. I apologize. Yeah. I was not up to date on the voice acting drama
the degradation of Mark Hamill's voice acting. No, don't get me wrong. I still adore him, and he is still the voice of Joker for me.
Yeah. So that's good voice acting. What makes bad voice acting?
Flat readings, inappropriate readings, and unbelievable readings are the top problem. Because you can have a stupid accent, like, that doesn't even sound like it comes from a real place, and still do good voice acting. Believe it or not. It's largely in how you read something. So, I don't know, a flat reading of, which actually, it coincidentally is inappropriate as well, and unbelievable, is fire, fire. Oh no, it's too late.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, yeah.
That would, yep. Insensitive casting.
Insensitive, absolutely. So when I mentioned the accent, I didn't mean doing an accent of a different ethnicity.
Yeah. Yeah, we're just... Shadow at the Water's Edge is that casting is fucked up, and
we'll talk about the
the voice actors themselves and everything. But we do say that does not fall under the do a silly voice thing.
Mm-hmm. Okay, like so let's. I'm apparently sticking with the animated DC. Tara Strong's fucking Harley Quinn. Is it a believable voice? No. Is it, does she have strange inflections? Yes, but are they consistent strange inflections? Yes. So that is what makes her Harley Quinn. Over the top is no substitute for substance. And
substance?
Substance, yeah, that's what I meant. Apparently I'm hungry. I haven't eaten today.
Sister, no.
What's the difference between voice acting and just putting on an accent?
So many people, right? They're like, oh my god, you should be a voice actor, right? Because someone has like a bunch of silly little voices that they do. Mm-hmm. Or imitations. Like, they're like, oh, I can do a great impression. And then they think, oh, I can do all these impressions. That means I can be a voice actor. And no amount of doing a good impression will make up for not being able to fucking act. Mm-hmm. I just feel like being able to do a perfect accent will not make up for lack of actual acting ability.
Exactly.
And none of the games have good accents.
Not really.
And many of them are in fact racist.
Yes, in fact.
Yep.
Yeah.
When we were just talking about Shadow at the Water's Edge, I would also like to put in the voices of Alejandro, and then he also does Sheriff Fernandez in Shadow Ranch. That guy is white, and that's a very... it's a racist accent.
Yeah, and if I'm being real, Mary Yazzie.
Mary Yazzie is an incredibly racist accent. So, I then we have an entire episode about cultural representation in the games, and we go into depth on these insensitive cultural representations. So, if you would like to listen to us rant about it, then you can go listen to that one. We're going to get back on the slightly positive notes now. Yes. Who do we think of are good examples of voice acting in the series?
Well, I mean, go for it.
I just started with the voice actor who did Gunnar and Alexi, which, rest in peace, King.
Yeah, let's see. Gene Thorkildsen. Gene Thorkildsen played Alexi. He was Magnus and Gunnar in Sea of Darkness. And he was Marcus.
Marcus. Oh my god. And that's, like, to me, my favorite of the German accents in that game.
Abso-fucking-lutely. So it absolutely makes sense. Though they are... He was a very good fucking voice actor.
Yeah. Because not only did he do accents, but he also just had good acting. Like, especially Gunnar. I loved him.
I had to... It's a little harder for the Nancy Drew games to pick apart. So I put together a list of some of the frequently used voice actors, or any voice actor that appeared multiple times I put in, or as long as they weren't reappearing as the same character. So I had no idea. Jonah von Spreeken is the voice actor who does the voice of Bill Kessler, Colin Baxter, Hugh Penvelin, Tommy Tucker, and Alan Penvelin, Johnny Roll, George Jackson, I don't remember what that was in.
Me neither.
I can't tell. because I know some of these are from the dossier.
Okay.
Tubby Telegrams Man, Andy Jason and Casey Porterfield, Harlan Bishop, Anton Sukov, Miles the Magnificent Memory Machine, Shorty Thurman, Mineral Map Guy. he does, yeah. So apparently he's a pretty well-rounded voice actor. So,
and also Frank Hardy.
Yes.
He does a lot.
There has been a lot of good voice acting in the games of late. The older stuff is harder to find the good ones because they were getting what they paid for. You know, Her Interactive as a startup company, it didn't like get a lot of backing. People didn't see a need for a game series for girls. They didn't, they thought it was stupid. So they got dirt cheap voice actors. And they found some gems in there. I'm not saying that they are riddled with horrible voice actors, but there are a lot of horrible voice actors. In recent games, however, they got a little more particular, and so we got some great voice acting. I love Jamila.
Yes.
She's amazing. I absolutely adore the voice acting from her, as well as
the entire cast of Ghosts of Thornton Hall.
Oh, the entire I was trying to pick one of them from
No, it's the entire cast.
Which reminds me, where is it? Jeff Allen, who plays Wade Thornton, is also Alec Fell in
Silent Spy.
Silent Spy, thank you. Jesus Christ, I can't remember the game names for the life of me right now. Which, compare and contrast the two, it's very clear that it's the same actor when you actually think about it, but they are entirely different characters.
Yeah.
Yes, they're both within his wheelhouse, but he does a pretty good accent. It's not great, but it's pretty good.
Yeah.
In both cases. The southern accent's better than the Scottish one. Yeah. There have been some I mean, if nothing else, we have had some heartbreaking ones.
Yeah.
Shadow at the Water's Edge, while again, there are some offensive voices in there. There are also some just really good performances. Just really... I'm sorry. Takai's denial of anything being wrong with her daughter, of her not being happy there, is just... No! It legitimately breaks my heart. Or Renata. Ugh.
Oh, yeah.
That fucking character.
Yes. That is, I think, a game where you can see good voice acting making up for bad accents.
So much.
Because I like every single voice actor in that game.
Yeah. It's kind of like The Great, which is about Catherine the Great and everything. So it's a German woman in Russia, but every single one of them has a posh English accent. And it's crazy, but you don't really think about it. Because yes, a lot of them have terrible accents, but at the same time, it's also just really good acting, and you're just like, okay, all right. I'll believe your accent, Elle Fanning. Fine. It's not good, but I'll believe it. Because you're supposed to be a German woman and speaking Russian.
Yeah.
So bad accent does not negate good acting. As long as it's
exactly
done well. Yes.
Culturally sensitive.
God, there are so many caveats. I thought this was pretty simple. I thought, be a good voice actor. Don't be racist. I didn't think I had to say, don't be racist voice actor, because...
Yeah. It's awkward. And I will put out there, right, that voice actors don't really get to know anything about their characters when they're hired
Especially
on.
for a game like this.
Yeah, so I don't fault the voice actors for certain casting decisions, right? However, if you're being told to do an accent like that, I think that's a place where you can say, I don't feel comfortable doing this anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If they're telling you to do an accent like
okay, Mark
like
Biaggi,
some of these accents,
who played Rentaro Aihara, is also the same voice actor who did Mason in Deadly Device. That was not. It wasn't appropriate. It wasn't.
It's just not appropriate.
And then there's the Kira Lauren who voiced Yumi in which, love the character, have an issue with everything though. But she also has voiced Alex Trang in Sea of Darkness and Lena Patel in Kira Lauren. You know what?
I have the other. Yeah, is she? Give me a second. I have that entire spreadsheet about game rep.
Oh, look, there's a whole behind the voice actors website, guys. You should just go there.
Yeah, but so she did the voice of She Is White. I already did the research.
Oh, I see. Gotcha.
Yeah, sorry, on my Nancy Drew Games rep. But yeah, so we did a lot about that. We've talked about this. We've done this. We've gone over this. Let's talk about not racism centric ones that we don't like and what's wrong with them. And I immediately brought up Rose from Message in a Haunted Mansion.
Just the flattest acting I've ever heard.
Nancy. Yeah. Nancy, I have a lot to do right now.
Yeah. No bueno.
And I don't know why you want to do this right now. I sound incredibly robotic and...
How can I get this done if you don't...
Exactly. It's awful. Lisa from Treasure Royal Tower.
The shit out of me. That... Oh, wait, where... Hold on.
My brain, however, has inserted at the end of Treasure Royal Tower, her saying, "Screw you, Nancy Drew." That's just in my brain now, and I don't know why.
Hey, man. It should have been. It would have been a redeeming character trait. No, but it's so funny because I thought of my two of my least favorite voices. Mm-hmm. Joanna Riggs and Joy Trent.
Yes.
Are played by the same woman.
Of course they are.
So apparently I consistently don't like her work. Which isn't to say she's bad, just I don't like her.
Yeah.
She does annoying voice work. But I also don't like voice work that is just, making something nasal, and then it's... Yeah. I'm aware I'm guilty of that as well. When you guys hear me do voices in my Wildermyth streams, I'm not exactly creative with mine.
Just fine. Because like we said, voice acting doesn't have to be a voice. It just has to be acting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who else was I going to say?
I mean, we could skip ahead to...
Oh, the elephant in the room.
Yeah. Okay, you know what? Actually, I'm going to take that back a bit. I don't remember... There have been a couple of Frank Hardys I've not been a big fan of. I like the current one.
Yeah.
He's okay. I think the first one?
That one's Jonah. Maybe? So Jonah on Spreeken is the current one. Whoever did Franklin Rose
That was, what's his name who does... Hold on.
Is that Von von Sprechen?
I think it's the other... No, not... Oh, yeah, actually, it's another Frank Hardy, yeah. Wayne Raleigh does Franklin Rose and Silvio Jr.
Oh.
So that's got to be the Frank Hardy I don't like.
Yeah.
I can guarantee it now. Sorry, sir.
Apparently,
and there's like
phone. I didn't include phone friends on this.
Oh, gotcha.
Interesting. Sorry.
But yes. Sorry, guys. This is probably something we should have like.
Well, I didn't think
done
about
prior.
It. Okay.
No, me neither.
I don't have future vision.
Well, okay. I can tell you why. I mean, I don't know his ethnicity, but his only voice acting has been done in Nancy Drew games. He does editing and sound department work.
I see.
So he was a stand-in at one point, and they went, you know, why don't you just do the character? And it didn't have that they also did that with Roz in Monsters Inc. And that turned out well. And Laura, why did I say Laura? Linda Belcher.
Yeah.
Was a stand-in voice.
Yeah.
And yet he does that constantly. It's anyway. Oh, sorry. So my favorite George is the most recent George, and she is also the voice actress who does Jamila and Moira. Everyone's favorite lesbian aunt.
Yeah. Damn, we didn't talk about Moira in our last one. And Kate Drew, also queer.
Yep. But anyway.
Buried that gay.
We really buried that gay that day. Buried the gay that day.
Yeah. But the elephant in the room.
Lonnie fucking Minella.
Some love her, some hate her, but she's definitely iconic as Nancy Drew. But what do we think?
First off, this is the elephant in the room of the elephant in the room. So, voice actors are frequently much older than their characters. Grown women will do the voice of a little boy in something because, you know, that's the pitch and tone that was needed. And that's fine. Lonnie, however, at the age of 48 was cast as Nancy Drew. And she already sounded real bad.
Yeah. I will put, we're gonna say, like she just said, sometimes voice actors are older than their character, and that's completely normal, and we get that. But she doesn't even sound
right.
She doesn't even sound like a teenager.
Her last game she was 65. And
yeah.
I'm not saying that that's oh gosh, but as you get older, your vocal cords do stretch. And you can't control it quite the same way as you could when you were younger. Like, yeah. I used to be able to do pitch-perfect imitations of things. Can't really do that anymore. There are just, and no matter what, you're gonna sound different.
Yeah.
At 65 than you might have at 19.
Yeah.
Which is how old Nancy's supposed to be.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's that aspect of it.
There's that. And then
she doesn't sound like a teenager to the point of people watching the games on our streams for the first time being like, whoa, who's this smoker? Like, Nancy been smoking 2 packs a day since she was 12? Like,
I never understand voice actors who smoke. That is your goddamn tool.
But it's always crazy to me then that, like, we even, like, they just, like, cast a woman and said, you know, you're 19. And she's like, well, I'm not 19. I'm 48. And they're like, yeah, it's fine. Just if you say you're 19, then you're 19.
Then you're 19.
Everyone
it's internet rules.
Yeah. So I'm just not, honestly, just past that. I don't like her acting. No. I know that it's an unpopular opinion in the fandom because a lot of people associate that voice with the character, and that's awesome for you guys. But in our opinions, so subjective, she's like, eh.
And I don't know. I mean, I've heard her in other games, and it's been better.
Yeah.
But she still has a line delivery problem. But, you know, she gets consistent work, so clearly we're the minority here.
Yeah.
She's done hundreds of video games.
I mean, and it's like, if you're looking for someone with that kind of gravelly voice and stuff, then yeah, she's great for it. But, like, she does, like, some voices and, like, WoW and stuff. Like, that makes sense for her. But does it make sense to cast her as a 19-year-old who's pretty much, like, sheltered from the world?
Yeah.
Like, what? And also, I think that in a lot of the games, she really phones it in. And
she definitely does.
She thought Nancy Drew was a cushy gig, and she had job security in doing it. Mm-hmm. So she just kind of phoned it in and
went a little crazy.
Yeah, we're not talking about personal life stuff because that doesn't have anything to do with her acting, but also she is.
I mean, it does. I think it genuinely contributes to her misreading of lines, her utter mishandling of how humans intonate.
Yeah.
It's like no human says it that way. No one's gonna sound that way in that situation.
It's locked. I still don't... Like, that's an iconic thing, right? I get that. But also, it's not locked. Good.
What? Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I fucking love doing it. It's hilarious. But how does that make sense? Wouldn't you be like, ugh, it's locked? Like...
It's locked.
It's locked. This is a strange way to say something. Nobody does that.
Yeah.
Did somebody just tell her to downglide more? And so she went, it's locked. It's like, that's not what we meant. Okay, that's fine. Moving on.
Yeah. We only have studio time for...
Yeah. We gotta clear out soon.
Yeah.
Another fucking Netflix show's coming in.
But, yeah, so, just in my opinion, she was never a good Nancy to begin with.
She wasn't.
Yeah, but what do we think about Brittany Cox's Nancy?
I don't know. Because I don't think I've seen her be Nancy. I think I've seen her be, or I guess heard is the appropriate one. I've seen her do a line reading. It's not... the same, this, as we have noted, the voice direction in Midnight in Salem, which is the only game that Brittany Cox has ever been in for Nancy, it's even the vets in that game
sound kind of weird.
Sound stilted. Like, I think Joe Hardy pulls it off the best.
Yeah,
but at the same time, there are still parts where I'm like, what is that? That's a first read.
Yeah, it is what it sounds like a lot of the time.
At least the vets have, like, their characters.
Yeah.
So
they like, know the character a bit.
I know how Deirdre sounds. I know how Frank sounds. So, like, they're good. But
I just don't know what Brittany Cox will be able to do. Would be able to do, maybe. Who knows?
I don't know if there's another Nancy Drew game coming out ever again.
Who knows? Who knows?
I mean, there should be.
Yeah.
The rest of the gaming industry hasn't let COVID slow them down. So why have...
I mean, yeah, it's just...
I'm just saying.
It's a thing. I'm just glad that Her Interactive finally got some good people on their social media, because they're actually making funny posts now. That's just an aside, but...
As Nintendo fan 43ver said in the chat, May's voice actress May's voice actress, has been doing anime dubbing. I believe she's also the one who was the voice of Barbossa. No.
Is that because Tegan's the one who voices...
Tegan's the one who voices in Breath of the Wild?
Yes, that's Tegan.
Okay.
Yeah. Who, again, has a really weird stilted voice in the game, so, like, she's obviously good at voice acting. But, yeah, that's... We just don't know about Brittany Cox until, like, as Nancy, until we... actually get to hear her as Nancy. You know what I mean? I didn't enjoy her.
Yeah, what we got was
not great.
Not even satisfactory, if I'm being honest.
A map of Salem.
A map of Salem.
Yep. It's like, what? If you're even just reading that, why would you say it like that? I don't understand.
Like, was she also sipping her coffee? She's like, a map of Salem.
Or I like to think that maybe she thought she was in a very different style of game. Like, in some games, it will just be, they'll say shit like that, you know? With that kind of intonation. But that's not the kind of game this is. It's not like you're narrating it, like, in the same way. It's more like Nancy out loud just saying, oh, a map of Salem. Not a map of Salem. Which is like... You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for understanding. Instead of... Because I just said map of Salem a bunch of times.
As opposed to, a map of Salem.
Yeah.
In fact, actually, let's do that one instead, because a map of Salem. Because the point is that it's a map, so let's put some intonation on that word.
Just, you know,
is
if you
what
look
a good
up,
voice director would say.
You'd just look up and be like, oh, a map of Salem. Or the end. You know what I mean?
And like, definitely don't have it be a repeating one if she sounds surprised by it every time.
That's
just
true.
Have her do it the first time.
Instead of just a map of Salem.
Or
I can't get over it.
Salem is like...
I can't. So much of the game had just the worst intonation, and I want to blame voice direction because she's probably a lovely person. But it just is so painful to play that game.
It really has colored
like
her performance.
Yeah, it's just
But anyway.
Yeah, so that's our rant on sound.
Yeah, was it a podcast?
Sound acting, voice acting in Nancy Drew. What makes good voice acting? What's bad voice acting? And other stuff we said in the middle. If you guys have thoughts about this, whatever it was that we just did,
yeah, we
don't know. One of us will figure it out upon editing. Editing.
The worst thing to say is I edited it.
I edited it.
I edited it. What to do today? At a minute or two to two.
A thing distinctly hard to say, but harder still to do.
I'm not going to continue.
But yeah, so tell us on our Discord, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, or our fancy website, krolmeistersisters.knifefightclub.com.
Yeah, and you can find us and maybe episodes that make more sense on Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, and Spotify. And in them there are places you can also review us and be like, it's okay when they get off topic sometimes. They're enjoyable, right? You enjoy us?
Yes.
Yes.
Say we enjoy even when they get sidetracked talking about Star Wars. I mean, that'll be intriguing for someone reading reviews. They'll be like, okay, so when did they start talking about Star Wars? Better start from the beginning. Episode 204, they're like, finally talking about Star Wars.
Is this why I started listening to this podcast?
So if you guys would like to... This is a rough one, guys.
I am so tired.
If you would like to support us, you can subscribe to us on Twitch to get access to all the things. Or you could support us on Patreon for all the other things.
Yeah. So
I'm not doing this again.
As a reminder, I'm Ariana.
And I'm Risa.
We're the Krolmeister sisters. And we're asking you guys to stay sleepy.
Thank you.